am experiencing a crisis of consciousness. Why? Because I just keep getting pulled under the negativity undertow and in the darkness that is the Epstein files. Yeah, I've been like spinning out. My life has been completely the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I have definitely one more roundup summary episode, and then just take a break from the Epstein files for a little bit. Fuck. I'm struggling. I am struggling. Like, that's okay. But you know what?
Welcome back to the Unredacted Truth, where we fill in the missing gaps in the world's largest scandals and mysteries. In a world of rumors and theories, my job is simple: uncovering the truth underneath the glitter and the grime. We are exposing a pattern: protection, power, predators, structures built not on justice, but on silence, fear, and impunity. We're not talking theory, we're talking court records, stamps, dates, testimony, and a system that, to this day, continues to fail the public and protect the predators among us. Let's get to it.
Hello and welcome back to the Unredacted Truth. I am your host, Sonia, and I am experiencing a crisis of consciousness. Why? Because I just keep getting pulled under the negativity undertow, and I can't continue to live, survive, and exist that much longer in the darkness and the craziness, just the darkness and negativity that is the Epstein files. The other thing is, I keep trying. I know we're supposed to niche, and I keep trying to put myself in a box, which is so hard because I don't know how to put myself in a box. I've never fit in a box. I hate forms. And I keep trying to put me in a box and niche out and narrow who I am and what I want to do in tiny little format and package it up, and I can't. I honestly don't. I'm like, I I love political stuff, but I don't want to be talking about war and Iran and craziness all the time. I love the housewives and listening to. No, I'll talk to you later. I love the housewives. Right now I'm obsessed with the Mormon wives, but I do not want to be a recap either. And then you look back. Okay. Yeah. I've been spinning out. My life has been completely the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks has been completely spinning out. My friend, who I thought was one of my closest friends, if not best friend, was going through a hard time. I allowed her to move in. It was the worst thing ever. And I know they always tell us if you move in with somebody, it could completely ruin your relationship. You don't know somebody until you move in with them. That is one factor, because there's a lot of tiny little things that were I may smother this bitch in her sleep, but I love her. Other than that, it's also someone I brought into such a sacred space of mine stole from me. She robbed me blind. That's the best way I could say it. And I've been feeling that too, just dealing with all those emotions and the violation of it. I don't even care about the stuff. Stuff is just stuff. Stuff can be replaced, but it's the betrayal, the violation, there's confusion to it. But then there's also relief at the same time, because it was getting really, really toxic and bad. And I'm that's the word is an empath. I really feel people's energies around me and other people's energies, and the environment around me really, really affects me. So it feels like I've been through 6 months of absolute chaos. I've been shaking. I haven't known. It's just been absolutely terrible, and I'm trying to recover and heal myself from all that, and reground and restabilize from all that and process. At the same time, I think my body, not I think, I know my body went into 2 modes at the same time, and it effed me because my fight and flight was activated at the same time as my freeze. You may know the feeling, like, literally in my solar plexus was cold. Like, it just felt cold. And I wasn't cold, but it always felt cold. Like, I was stuck in my bed for 3 days. I wasn't sad, I wasn't anxious, I wasn't depressed, but I could not move. It was the weirdest feeling ever. I have episodes that I haven't been able to edit. I have definitely one more roundup summary episode that I will edit and post it, and then just take a break from the Epstein files for a little bit. Where are we going? Fuck. That's the other thing. Like, right now I'm going through, like, I don't know, it's not even impersonator syndrome, because I literally do not know what I'm doing or where I'm going. I have been talking myself through this. I'm like, the other people that you look at or other podcasts that you listen to, a lot of these people have been doing it for years. It took them time to figure it out. But I don't know. I'm struggling. I am struggling. I am struggling. Like, oh, that's okay. Okay, okay. This crisis of consciousness. How am I dealing with this actual crisis of consciousness that I'm having? The first thing is why I'm really having it. It's because I can't be vulnerable. Terrified right now. Absolutely terrified. My stomach is turning into a knot because this is probably the hardest thing I have done and a lot of people have done. Because at the core of this, what I wanted and what I've always wanted to do or have or start or attempt a podcast is because I believe, well, I know I have an insane, intense story behind me, but I believe that my story could help a lot of people and help a lot of people out there know that they're not alone. And I guess I do have thingy syndrome. What is it? It's not impersonator syndrome. What's the other syndrome that you have? I forget the name. Feeling not. I can always edit this out, make it shorter. It's like literally on the tip. Imposter. There we go. Imposter, not impersonator syndrome. Imposter syndrome is what I was trying to get at. And yes, at first I said, which I think and I believe it will make sense to leave part of what I just attempted the last 7 minutes of recording, because it does show the process that I'm going through. And the truth is, I am going to continue to feel like this, to be uncomfortable, to have anxiety, to have feel like I have chaotic energy, as long as I continue to not do what I know I should be and I want to do. And although I am not religious at all, once upon a time, went through whatever, that's a story for another day. I'm probably going to say that a lot. I feel like everything that's been happening over the last 2 weeks, the explosion of shit, is my Jonah in the whale moment. And until I stop running from what I need to be doing, I'm not gonna be okay. So what is that? I was able to answer that question today. And it was like, what do I want to do? And what I want to do is grow and I want to evolve. I want to do it with other people. Every single day for me right now in my life is a day of self improvement and just learning and figuring myself. Synopsis, we will be able to maybe go on. We'll see how this event fucking goes because I have no idea. But we are going a little summary of my history up to now is that for 23 years, this is not medical advice. My situation is unique to me and not others. Consult your doctors, all that stuff. This is not medical advice. If someone listens to this and goes off their medications and does something crazy, it is not me. I did not know you. I'm specifically telling you that I'm not giving you advice. I am telling you my story. But the last 23 to 20, no, 14 minus, I don't want to age myself, 20 to 23 years, I was what appears to be falsely diagnosed and medicated for a series of mental health issues and problems. I had a lot of panic attacks, downs, all the sorts. It has been almost 3 years without taking any of the SSRIs, antipsychotics, and all that stuff. And since then, the life has been an epic shit show. I have not been having the panic attacks, the breakdowns, the same manic episodes, and everything that I did from the ages of about 14 or 15 until when I stopped. But so, because of all that you can imagine trauma and damage done to my brain, my neurons, and everything, plus the person that you are at that time and the person who you really are just completely different things. So that's what I mean. Every single day of my life is a day of self discovery, is a day of self improvement, is a day of learning something new, analyzing and changing something new. I feel like I'm a newborn experiencing life for the first time, but in an adult body. And that is a big thing as to why, yeah, it is a big thing as to why I wanted always, like, I've not always, but would sit in my room for years before I had the balls to pretending, wishing, saying I would one day want to do a podcast. Maybe start a whole community. Because I'll be honest, my whole growth path journey has been so solo and so isolating. And I think that's a big reason as to why I went back and got people from that damaged life and portion and self and try to like bring them into this. And that is why it's ended. And it's ended so bad every single time. But I also have to let go of that moment in time and those people as well. And that's the thing that I'm having, I guess, with like, there's a grief with the whole situation and how it ended, but there's also a relief with the whole situation and how it ended. But I know that yes, I know that it's also a huge sign from the universe for me to like let go and close that chapter completely because I'm not that person. I don't relate the same. I don't feel the same. I don't think the same. I can't acclimate to those energies and everything the same. And I don't want to. I'm not that person. I don't want to go back to be that person. So at the same time, it's a good thing because I can move forward. And it also has helped me bringing this person back into my life also helped me kind of like close or deal with some my own personal feelings of like guilt. Well, I thought I was the problem, but no. So it's actually good that she did what she did. So it's easier to let go and completely get her out of my life. But so that's one of the things that's been happening. That's been also kind of like acting as a weight and stopping me from like doing anything or being able to like I don't know. It's just been a hard time, but I know I have to push through and push forward because that's all we can do in life, right? The biggest thing that I have found that I've learned about myself. And I believe it's also why I was able to survive and navigate life regardless of the craziness that was going on in my mind and my mental on all those medications is that I am very, like, I guess my will is the best way to say it, or who I am, the bottom of who I am is very, very strong. And not only that, is that I do naturally move to the rhythm of the universe. So I think that why I believe that helped me a lot is that, of course, with everything that was going on, there's no way I could have been present in life or able to intend. So when I wasn't able to be present, my subconscious was able to kind of like lead me into the right way. And what I'm finding now is that now that I'm like trying to be more aware, I second guess myself a lot, which leads to a lot of self doubt. And that's another thing. Like I start and I've started and stopped, and I keep asking the audience, listeners, for grace. As for someone who really affirms herself a lot, because that is a practice I try to do. In this moment, I've been able to realize how insecure I am. And that also goes with why another big thing that I've been struggling with is since I've been able to get out of bed and made a choice to get myself together and get a handle and just move on to the next thing. I've started reading this Laws of Attraction by Emily Anderson, but it's the same thing that everybody, the whole manifestation thing says, is you gotta completely eliminate fear. How do you do that? Is the question. How do you do that? Because the only way that I thought I was eliminating fear was I was just suppressing it. I was just pretending it does not exist. Same thing with being self conscious. I was just obviously suppressing it. And now when I'm sitting here and dealing with it, I'm like, no, it's still there. So, how do you, so many of these law of attraction, manifestation, everything books, psychologists, everyone's just telling us always eliminate the fear. How? Because it's part of who we are. It's part of survival. It also helps us, like, yeah, basically survive in so many other ways. It's a benefit for us. So the question is, see, I guess I had nothing to be that scared of. They tell us to eliminate fear, but how do we eliminate fear completely? Like, I don't care who you are. If you're in the forest with a big scary bear, there's going to be fear, right? I can say for a fact, pushing it down and pretending it does not exist doesn't work and is not working. Action that we need to do, or is it just facing it that we need to do? Because that's another thing that I've put into practice for myself is that I do tarot for myself. I find to me it helps me affirm what I'm feeling inside, what I already know. But I also at the core believe that each and every one of us already truly know what the answer is and what we need to do. We just need a little bit of help and guidance and encouragement and triggering, like to trigger that answer out. So with me, myself, I do tarot, but I was having, because I was not doing, it's just narrowed down because of the whole crisis of consciousness. I was unable to properly interpret it for myself. What helped, so I was able to take a picture of it and put it into Gemini. One thing that I do with Gemini is I have activity off. I do not like my AIs to memorize or learn my habits. I want every single interaction to be treated. I find it's the best way to get it unbiased and the best answers. Because at the core of it, at the beginning of everything, it scores to be as accurate as possible. So I put it in there and it gave me an interpretation. Basically, at the core of it, was that yes, I have been in a hermit mode, aka you guys have not heard or seen from me in 2 weeks. My cousin is also here, a family around, but it's time for just action and just do. I just have to face it. The only reason I'm gonna overcome my doubt and my fear and my imposter syndrome is just by starting to talk to you guys honestly in the best way. Before I started this, I was panicking because I didn't know we had a direction. Apparently, according to my human design, which I just found out, I need to feel planned and prepared to move forward. I thought I did have a plan and preparation, though at the same time, everything about this is like, I can't script this. It needs to be honest. But look, now I know. It just developed itself. We're talking about eliminating fear. On that on that note, I learned a new word this week. This week or was it last week? I don't know. Nocebo effect. I have made jokes about the Epstein Island temple and demons. No word of a lie. For a while, I truly believed that I was cursed, like hexed, completely cursed and hexed. I am African. The tales and the stories of witchcraft and family juju, like that stuff is real in our everyday life. And I literally went through a period where I lost absolutely everything within a year. And not only that, I was unable, completely and utterly unable to replace, to get another job, to get back on my feet. Like it was just how, like, I could not do anything. Every branch, every tree, every lifeline that I felt like I was holding on to or could grasp was weak and it was broken. And that brings us to the new word. And I think there might be a lot of you out there listening that might find some help for this. Because when I learned about this nocebo, it definitely freed me up a lot. most of us know about the placebo effect. The nocebo effect, at least for me speaking personally, not well known. And this happened when everything kind of like I told you, I feel like I am going through a Jonah and the whale moment. But everything came to a head and literally I ended up I'll put the picture in. But making, let's call it candle art, a mycelium, put it into Gemini, and Gemini, yes, people. AI did not fit into my delusions. But this time around, I'm about to tell you that it did the opposite. AI brought me out of my delusions because it explained and illuminated to me and educated me about the nocebo effect. And since then, it's given me, let's just say, a new lease on life. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this nocebo effect. So according to Gemini, the nocebo effect is the dark twin of the placebo effect. Believing you are cursed or hexed is one of the most extreme, historically documented examples of this phenomenon. While the placebo effect happens when positive expectations lead to health improvements, the nocebo effect happens when negative expectations lead to actual negative symptoms. Quick little example for you. Placebo effect. This pill will cure my headache. They give you a sugar pill, but the brain releases natural painkillers and endorphins, and the headache fades away. So whether or not that it was a sugar pill, you wouldn't know because you expected it to be a real pill. The brain released endorphins, and so your headache went away. Versus, that was a nocebo. I don't know if you guys will hear that, but I hit my funny bone. But the nocebo effect is the opposite, where you think, okay, this pill is gonna make me nauseous. Vaccine, let's say the flu shot. If you go in to get a flu shot, thinking this flu shot is gonna make me sick and nauseous, just that thought, because a lot of people don't even get sick from flu shots, but just that thought triggers a stress response in your brain. Your stomach gets upset because the vagus nerve, flight or fight, is also connected to your digestive system. Negative effects because of negative expectations. Placebo is positive effects based off positive expectations. In 1942, Harvard physiologist Walter Cannon published a foundational paper titled Voodoo Death, documenting how healthy people in various cultures died shortly after being cursed by a shaman or witch doctor. Cannon discovered that the magic wasn't killing them, their own brains were. When a person profoundly believes they're doomed, the brain triggers massive, inescapable fight or flight responses. The adrenaline overdose. The next thing is the brain floods the nervous system with adrenaline and cortisol, explaining what is actually happening in the body that is leading them to die versus what they believe is killing them and what a lot of people culturally would believe around them, that it was the hets. And so when a person believes that they're doomed, the brain triggers a massive, inescapable fight or flight response. So walking down the street, they step on an old lady and she says, "For your disrespect, I shall curse you and you shall die in 10 days." You panic. You're like, dude, that woman looked like she knew what she was talking about. What happens in the brain? So the next thing that happened is the adrenaline overdose. The brain then floods the nervous system with adrenaline and cortisol. You're panicking. That's the fight or flight system. Like, I don't know what to do. This lady's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. I'm hexed. I'm cursed. I need to go to church. I need to find an exorcism. I need to, I don't know. You're trying to figure it out. The next thing that happens is called a cardiovascular collapse. This sustained extreme panic restricts the blood vessels and strains the heart, eventually leading to a fatal drop in blood pressure or sudden cardiac arrest. The clock keeps ticking and you're getting closer to that 10 days. You're freaking out more and more. Like the lady said, I was going to die in 10 days. More adrenaline, more cortisol is flooding your system. It's putting a lot more strain and pressure on your heart, then eventually go into cardiac arrest, blood pressure topples, and boom, you're done. The next thing that happens is the brain then amplifies this pain. Oh, that just kind of happened to me. If you expect pain or illness, your brain releases CCK, cholecystokinin. I will put the word below. Add the word. A hormone. So your brain releases CCK, a hormone that actively amplifies pain signals. Your brain will literally turn up the volume on your nerve endings. So that's okay. So cardiac arrest starts, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is how I'm going down. That actually happened to me. And then when I calmed down, the pain went down. I thought it was my pancreas. 5 seconds before that happened, I had figured out that a pancreas may be the cause of my pancreas may be the cause of my symptoms. Then my nausea hit, and it hit worse. Every symptom I had seen hit my body. Usually when it would go away, it just kept getting higher and higher and higher, to the point I had to call 911, and I was crawling outside like a crazy person. By the time 911 and the paramedics arrived and I was able to calm down and they did my blood pressure and all that, the pain went away. So I guess, yeah, I had a nocebo effect. I just didn't know I was having one. So basically what they found, if someone thinks they're cursed and they're gonna die, brain believes that they're cursed and they're gonna die, shoots adrenaline and cortisol into the system to the point it overloads it. That stress on your heart, on your body, and heart will cause pain. Your brain will then amplify that thing to again make and create that scenario and situation, making you believe you're having a heart attack, which will then induce a heart attack, and then you die. And the moral of the story was that the curse wasn't what caused the people to die, but it was the absolute psychological certainty of the curse caused a lethal physiological cascade. So who knows? Maybe me believing I was cursed made me impatient, thinking my internet wasn't working, causing me to double click, which I don't know, maybe that was causing it to double click anymore. But because I was so focused on, oh my God, this is not going to work, and cursed, I wasn't present. So and I have ADD. So I wasn't processing time accurately. And who knows, maybe all the internet problems and issues I was having could and were absolutely self-made. Thingy biases. What's that word again? When you create the reality that you're scared of. That's what I was doing. Slowing me down and slowing the process down even more. Well, I thought it was because I was cursed. And just like before, nothing I was doing was going to work. So I was unconsciously self-sabotaging. But then when I found out about the nocebo effect, I thought to myself, well, if my brain is so powerful enough that I have been co-creating this disaster after disaster after disaster situation, believing 100% that I was hexed and cursed, then I can switch it. Why don't I just flip the script? Flip the script and start believing I am protected, I am blessed, and I got this, and I am attracting everything that I want and that I need. And it kind of sort of worked, but then it didn't. How did it? I just thought of this story, and one thing that I absolutely hate is when preachers and stuff are like, oh, you pray and then you get 500, you get the money and all that stuff. I don't want to sound like this, but it did work, and I'm just gonna tell you the story of how. Okay, so maybe the easiest way is to first go into the real world examples of this nocebo effect. According to Gemini, according to Gemini, you don't need to believe in witchcraft to experience the nocebo effect. So it happens in modern medicine every day. Clinical trials, side effects. In drug trials, it's been shown that patients given an inert sugar pill, will frequently report severe side effects like fatigue, nausea, or headaches, simply because the doctor warned them that those side effects were possible. Another interesting one was lactose intolerance. Now, my mother says she was She was lactose intolerant for a long time. Then she said it just went away because she believed that she was healed and it went away. But listen to this. So, according to this, in blind studies, people who believe they're lactose intolerant will often experience severe gastrointestinal pain, distress, when given a fake lactose solution purely because they expect that reaction. That I found very interesting. The other thing was the other example they gave was the contagious symptom. So, if one person in a workplace complains of a strange chemical smell and says it's making them dizzy, others will suddenly begin feeling dizzy and nauseous, even if the air quality test shows zero toxins, a phenomenon known as a psychogenic illness. And what's the takeaway? The takeaway is the nocebo effect proves that your brain doesn't just passively experience reality, it actively constructs it based on what it expects. And I think that's when I can tell you how for a split second, because I'm still new at this, I had just figured it out, believe I was able to flip my experience from nocebo to placebo, but then it flipped right back. And it's going to be a continued process for me. And the other thing was the mass psychogenic illness. Mass psychogenic illness reminds me of one thing, and that's the Salem witch trials, because that's what they believe happened in Salem, Massachusetts. Psychogenic illness that was also aggravated, I believe, by the arsenic in the rice. They weren't doing it, farming it or whatever rice, and that led people to think everybody was like the whole witch burned them fever. Okay, that's my side note. But let's move on to my real world mini switcheroo of my experience that was unfortunately unable to maintain, but I believe with continued practice will be able to maintain longer in the future. So this girl, everything happened on what, the 25th, the end of the month. I had literally like no time between the explosion of effects and rent being down. My life exploding, the roommate running off, taking half my shit, more than half my shit, not paying rent, and me having to figure it out. But I have been lucky we always focus on the bad stuff more than the good stuff. Because, like I said, I believed for up to this weekend that I was cursed, I was hexed. Someone had put a curse and a hex on me. But during that time, I also have been lucky or blessed enough that the universe has cradled me and keep me safe. As in the fact that when one shoe drops, or like a bottom out moment happens, something swoops in to kind of like balance and hold me out, whether it's people, distance, whatever. So when everything imploded, I literally had 2 days. It was like what, 2 days before the 1st of April. What's today? Oh, shit. 2 days. It's been 2 weeks. Holy fuck. Time flies. 2 days. I was calm when it came to the bills and rent because I'm like, you know what? The universe somehow always takes care of it. Luckily, so what helped me is I knew my cousin was coming, though I didn't know exactly how, what, when, but it also made me feel a little bit better that I wasn't going to be alone throughout this whole process. So he arrives on the 31st. Yes, he sees what's going on. He's able to help. So grateful. That is one way that the universe definitely swept in. And I kept staying cool and calm and collected. And I was like, the universe always helps me and protects me. Someone who I just met, we're not even like close or whatever, out of the blue, like just showed up like a superhero and provided me support in other ways that I really needed it. And that kept going. I'm like, see, there's nothing for you to worry about. And then another friend called me out of the blue and she's like, whatever. And I let her know. And that friend was like, you know what? I want to support you. Like, I want to support you. Let me send you something to just help you back. Don't pay me back. Because of the hard time that I'm going through, I don't like to borrow money because I don't know when. I will not borrow money unless I know for sure I can pay back. So she's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. This is a sum that I can help you out with. So in those ways, when I was cool, calm, and collected, not cool, calm, and collected, definitely not cool, calm, or collected, but when I was not worried, like I just believe that somehow the universe will take care of it, like it always did. Because in the end, I really didn't do anything wrong to this person. I opened up my home to this person. I showed extreme kindness to this person. And even after they did what they did up to now, I've just decided to kind of like wash my hands of it. So I was like, you know what? I've analyzed that. There's nothing I did wrong self intentionally to deserve this to this person. Whatever, the universe is taking care of me and I'm okay. And then and I started thinking about, okay, what about next month? And this and this and that. Also, another great thing was when I wasn't worried, walking my dog, see a travel agency that's hiring. I go in for an interview, they give me the jobs. Finally, after it's been almost 3 years of failing everywhere. I have applied to absolutely everything and I've barely been able to get an interview. And the reason why I think I put so much pressure on this entire podcast thing, do this, but that was like I have spent 3 years applying to every single thing, unable to. And then all of a sudden, yes, finally, I get something. I'm gonna start studying for my Tyco license and then we'll move forward from there. But I was like, see, things are working out. And then it feels like as soon as I started freaking out and worrying about May, all that like goodness and that natural flow of things coming in was like, and stop. I lost my favorite earring. Can't find it ever. I usually find things that I lose too. I lost a wireless headphone and the snow ones, and I was able to find it. What it was 3 weeks later after the snow melted, I found that headphone and it still works up to this day. I always find it. I have walked up and down where I lost that earring and I heard it fall. I should have found it right away. It's not like it took a while and I can't find it. Things are just falling apart. Why? Because I got out of that best thing say placebo mindset and went right into back into the nocebo mindset by fearing for May. What am I gonna do to May in May? Will I be able to pull it off? Am I gonna be able to afford my place by myself? Blah 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 blah. And then that looks like everything that was flowing so naturally, absolutely, completely stopped with me. So I could, yes, sit there and say it doesn't work and it's not effective and throw the whole thing out. Or I could see it, which I've decided to see it as because it's practice. I'm practicing to always constantly keep a positive mindset and hopefully things and just be cool, calm, and collected, and hopefully things will continue to work out. But that goes to the first question I asked in the beginning was how in the world in the do you eliminate fear? Because whether I want to admit it or not, the first is going to come. That is still a very, very viable deadline. Is there a way that we can maybe work around the word eliminating more facing it? Maybe being able to actually say, yes, May 1st is coming and acknowledging that those are my feelings and they're valid. I think wanting to and being afraid that wanting to, yeah, being afraid you're not going to pay your bills and wanting to pay your bills, I think that is a very viable thing. So maybe we should go away from complete elimination and figure out ways how we can address those things without also triggering this nocebo effect of fight and flight symptoms. Or in my horrible place, because I spent 3 days in bed, not anxious and not depressed, but unable to move or do anything. Because not only was fight and flight triggered, but freeze was also triggered at the exact same time. And that is just prolonged stress. I know 100% it is A, prolonged stress. It's B, because I was completely running away further and further and escaping for what I wanted to do and what I believed I should be doing and what I knew I should be doing. Not that there's anything bad or terrible about doing the Epstein. I think it's very important to do the Epstein files. I think it's very important to like say stuff out there and put it out there and put the truth out there. But I heavily use it as a crutch and I hid behind it. And it feels like the more I try to hide behind that and say, okay, this is the angle that I'm gonna go, even going more into like just getting more scripted and stuff is just the more my body did not feel okay, my heart did not feel okay, my solar plexus did not feel okay. Right now I still a little cray cray. Like, I just did not feel okay. And I know it's because I felt chaotic because I was chaotic because I was not aligned. I knew what I should and would want to do. Well, I knew I not no, I don't know 100%. I had a feeling about what I should do and I wasn't doing it. I also had a very negative, toxic, chaotic person in my house and in my environment and in my space. So that was another thing. So not only was I running away from that because I was afraid of rejection, I felt like I didn't have a right to, and imposter syndrome and all that stuff too. I was also denying myself because I was not addressing a lot of things with this person that were affecting me in the fear that not yeah, there was fear. Stop it. On the go live correction. Stop it. Stop censoring yourself and stop, like, what comes out is the truth. There was fear. There was fear because A, if she left, like, I'm still afraid of paying the rent. Like, she was paying half the rent. So there was that fear. B, that was someone with history and I really wanted it to work. So there was the fear of the breakdown of the relationship. Then there was a lot of guilt that I felt because the last time I walked away from that said relationship, that person's life, because of the person they're with, turned into chaos. I was saying the same patterns. So again, there's a lot of fear because I was afraid that if I walked away once again, that this time something even worse would happen to said person. But what happened was I just kept setting myself on fire over and over again to keep them warm, and they weren't seeing it, and it was just getting worse and worse, and it was dragging me down. And I then started to become, it felt like a transference of the abuse they were going through or are going through. And like, I just couldn't do that. So I had to choose me and my sanity, my health and my wellness and everything. And my puppy, because she was going through it too. She's a very sensitive dog as well. If you have a dog like that, you know what I mean. And if you don't, whatever. But I had to choose me and it put, so I'm going through that grief and everything. I don't even know what I was going with that, but that's the thing. You guys are gonna see and get to know me. Rejection is a straight up fact of life that I just have to deal with. But what I can do is stop rejecting myself and my truth and just be honest. And this, I start that today on April 2026. Fingers crossed. Join me with a journey. It's going to be a journey of healing. It's going to be a journey of self discovery and a lot of, yeah. Okay. And then on that note, we're going to round this up a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see her because I am going to blur the background for now. Oh, that's the other thing. So I'll put the video so you see exactly what I was dealing with from this so-called friend, but I've decided to make it a functional space and make something beautiful out of what was a very tragic ending. So I'm gonna be turning half of into, what's your name? Mia. Mia belied my house. That's what happened. What Mia did to that poor landlord, that's exactly what happened to me. But I'm gonna be changing some of that into like my studio area where I will be taping it because I don't like, as much as I love being open and honest and unredacted, I don't want to bring the entire world into my bedroom with all the energies. And that's why I have to keep blurring it for now. But when I have it moved out there, there'll be less blurring. So you'll be able to see more of the precious baby that just joined the room. But where was I? I was going to wrap this one up today with a little bit of what I'm doing to assist me, to ground me, to be present, in hopes that it'll also help you guys too in some way as well. So, again, what I've been reading is one of the things that I have implemented. So, A, now that that person is gone and I've calmed down and rehabbed my nervous system, I have made one choice for myself is I am going to try and live as my best self every day. Now, will I do that every day? Definitely not. Not at the beginning. Because the best self was Sonia. Goes to bed at 8, wakes up at like 4:35, takes my Vyvanse, I work out. We go out for a walk right away with the dog. I get my protein in. There's a lot of things in there that I haven't been able to do. But if I do a little bit better every day and at least just focus on trying to find some stability in that, I know eventually I will get there. So part of that best self is like because I've had this law of attraction. Look, the stickers have been still on there from Indigo. I got this months ago in the summer, like last 2025. Could have even been 2024 summer, and I still haven't cracked it. I've decided now that I'm gonna try and read a chapter every day. After I work out, meditate, read a chapter. I'm on chapter one of it. Law of Attraction, Manifest Your Perfect Life, and this is by Emily Anderson. I know a lot of people have a hard time meditating. I couldn't tell you how I start, like my processes, and how, I think I just knew one day I needed to do it, and I did it. And that's been a lot of my, like I said before, this whole growth, rehabbing of the mind, of the spirit, evolving and healing process for me has been me, myself, and I. Then my dog came going on with this journey. Fingers crossed I'm able to actually keep this up and I don't chicken out and go back. I don't know what could happen is that you get to know and hear and see or witness a lot more of that journey with me. But a lot of it has been very intuitively led and independent. Not that I'm not open up to suggestion or actually all that stuff will be great, but I haven't had the opportunity. It happened, started during COVID. But I had the opportunity, the resources, or the ability to make the right connection. And maybe that's another reason why I want to do this. Who knows? Maybe I will find the right people, community, mentor, whatever, to assist me on the journey. But the first thing is that I thought would also, not the first thing, but the last thing for today that I thought would be helpful is this guide on how to meditate. Now that I say this, I'm going to do a quick, I'll also either photocopy it or print it out. I'll make a copy and I'm going to put this onto the Substack with the link. So for Spotify viewers, or if you happen to be on YouTube, where were we? How to meditate. Okay. So it recommends that all you need to start is 10 to 20 minutes of meditations, increasing to half an hour or more. That's if you wish. But if it's on your phone, saying if you set a timer on your phone, make sure your phone is turned to airplane mode so you're not interrupted by any calls or texts. I try and slow down and not be as squeaky as possible. So it says you find a quiet, comfortable space to sit or kneel either on cushions, on the floor, or on a chair, as long as your spine is upright and you won't fidget. You could place a blanket on your legs or a shawl on your shoulders to stay warm. Settle down into a comfortable posture, back straight, chin slightly tucked. Place your hands on your lap with palms facing upwards in receiving mode. Softly close your eyes and start to become aware of your breath. Breathing regularly and not out of your nose. Feel the air in your nostrils with each breath. Now, for me, I find it more comfortable to place my palms facing downwards because I find it helps me ground better and also stay connected and aware in the moment. Like facilitates the mind body connection for me. Another thing that I will do is I will have the thumb and the pointer and index together. Now that's an easier way than just palms facing up, but that's for me. But that's also, I find that helps me personally with that mind body connection. Now start taking some longer deeper breaths, really filling your lungs with fresh air, perhaps holding that in breath for a few seconds, and then releasing that breath again, waiting a few seconds before drawing another breath in. Allow the breath to gently fall into its natural rhythm and let your whole body and mind relax. Become really present in your body, allowing any wandering thoughts to come and go without getting caught up in any narrative in your mind. Try placing your awareness on your third eye space, right between your eyebrows. This is the gateway to hearing, feeling, and knowing your own inner wisdom, which is connected to the super conscious mind. You could try visualizing a column of bright light flowing from the heavens into your own crown chakra on the top of your head and down into your heart. Feel your heart expand with this light of consciousness as it connects you with the cosmos. Feel the bliss that bathing in this white light brings. Sit in this field of divinity for as long as you wish. If you sense any guidance via inspiration, visions, or creative urges, note it down afterwards and act on it as soon as you can. When you're ready, thank the divine intelligence for revealing itself to you. Ground yourself by bringing your awareness back into your body and feeling the floor beneath you. Take your time going back to your day with a renewed awareness of the Christ light within you as it reveals itself through you in every moment. Now, I hope I do not have to tell you not to do this when you're driving, but that was just a few steps, guidance on how to meditate or start your meditation journey. Another thing that I want to emphasize is this. Well, I believe and I see it. It's great for a lot of us because we do need guidance. We need something to like a starting point, but it's also suggestions. I also see it as a suggestion. So if this entire exact process does not completely align with you or you're not comfortable with, for example, if your body relaxes better when you breathe out of your mouth versus your nose, or if you prefer to do cleansing breaths, breathing in the mouth, breathing into your nose, pause, hold it, and out the mouth to relax, do what feels comfortable for you. Because I feel a big thing and a problem with this whole self help manifestation, live your best life industry. Not that I definitely don't see myself as any of those guru people and moments, but I think a huge disservice that it does for a lot of us is that every single one of these people tells us that we have to do it in a specific way, which is usually their way, and their way is the only way, and that is the way you need to do it. Sometimes that doesn't register or align with our souls, with our bodies, with our lives, with who we are, with that time for us. And then it has people stuck in a place where because they are not able to feel, get to connect or interact with this program in the way this guru says you have to do it in order to get some sort of enlightenment or joy or peace, you're stuck feeling like you're not enough, like you're not worthy, and it brings you further away from yourself and causes so much more damage and re-traumatizes people. I think we need to make it okay, acceptable, and normal that as much as we are all the same and share a lot of things, when it comes to our bodies, when it comes to our minds, when it comes to our spirits, when it comes to our souls, we're all unique freaking cornflakes, snowflakes. We're all unique in our different ways. And if we can learn to listen to ourselves, to listen to our body, to listen to our mind, to connect with our intuition, and follow what we're supposed to do for ourselves, for our body, and live in that way, in a way that is conducive to how we were created and how we were meant to be, it would alleviate a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of strife, a lot of anger, a lot of misery for a lot of us. So we should make it normalized and make it okay that we do not all have to follow and do and believe and see and get to know at the exact same step and a way to reach enlightenment and joy, to achieve joy and happiness in our lives. What's good for the goose is not always good for the gander. What I was going to say though is what I think is the best way to round this out and some practical stuff for us to take, at least for me, that I felt like I needed to take from the meditation and from reading chapter 1 of The Law of Attraction Manifest Your Perfect Life by Emily Anderson. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm reading, not a sponsorship. Is staying present. Because now what? Okay, so we meditated, we're calmed down, but how do we stay present? How am I able to maintain the good flow and energy of things so I didn't go from getting a job offer for the first time in forever, assistant falling in my lap by friends and acquaintances, to losing my favorite pair of earrings and never being able to find it because I wasn't able to stay present. I was thinking into all the other things I had to deal with that I still didn't have answers for. So it reads, daily meditation practice with its calm connection to the spirit within is an effective way to keep your vibration high. Spending more and more time living from a higher frequency means you're increasingly likely to attract scenarios that match your peaceful and elevated state of mind. You can meditate anytime your thoughts start racing, slipping into old negative thinking patterns such as resentment, anger, or ill will. Just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and bring your awareness back to the present moment for a few minutes. Staying present. Present moment awareness or mindfulness is another practice to cultivate connection to Source, with the added benefit of bringing power and ease to your actions. Pretense Malford found out as a boy in the California gold diggings when an old timer told him to put his mind into the shovel as well as his body. He discovered that shoveling dirt needed cooperation of mind with muscle. Mind to give direction to muscle, mind to place the shovel's point where it should scoop up most dirt with least outlay of strength. I found that the more thought I put in the shovel, the better could I shovel. The less like work it became, the more like play it became, and the longer my strength for shoveling lasted. I found when my thought drifted on other things, no matter what, that soon the less strength and enjoyment that I had for shoveling, and sooner it became an irksome task. He was vastly ahead of his time in extolling the benefits of being mindful. You must drill your mind to put its whole thought on the act you're doing now. If you tie your shoe, think shoe and nothing else. Sharpen a pencil for 60 consecutive seconds without thinking of something else. If we can do this, we are possessed of a share of the greatest power in the universe, not only in making ourselves more happy, but also power for doing more of whatever we have to do and doing it better and better. The more mindful in every moment, start again by bringing your attention to your breathing. To be more mindful in every moment, start again, like I just did, by bringing your attention to your breathing, feeling each breath come into and go out of your body via the nostrils or chest, rising and falling. Focus your body and your senses. Feel the sensation of the sun on your face, the fabric of your clothes, the grass under your feet. Hear all the sounds around you, such as bird song or music. Really, see what's in front of you, appreciating every detail in your child or pet's face, a painting, your dinner. When eating or drinking, explore the smells, tastes, and textures of every mouthful, turning deeply into your senses with gratitude and leads to an awareness that all is well in this present moment. Live example. Is that the word? No, live exercise. I think that's the word I was looking for. It says tuning deeply into your senses with gratitude that you can leads to an awareness that it's all well in this present moment. There's no need to worry over the future or stress about the past. if you can enjoy every moment with full awareness. Then, from that place of deep connectedness to and acceptance of what is, all good can unfold. And I really hope that can help one of you or somebody out there as it is helping for me. Because right now I am on a journey to ground. Like I'm having a very hard time to ground myself in my truth, to be feel grounded in my voice, in my life, in self, something that I thought I had achieved. And so that's what I'm doing. So I have made the conscious decision to meditate, reconnect with mind, body, and spirit. And this is just some of the things that I'm doing with myself every day. Holy crap. Being able to stay focused because as I read that this morning, but the second time that I'm reading out to you, other things are popping through about how much I need to like be in the moment with things. And with someone with ADD, ADHD, I don't know, it is severe at times. Maybe I'm noceboing myself turning it around because they also say with AD is when you're interested in something and you're determined and you make the choice, it's very easy to focus. So for this week, I'm turning my ADD into a placebo and not a nocebo. I'm going to do my best to be present and active in every moment in every passing day. And I will let you guys know how it's going. I am going to finish. I knew it. I knew and I felt that recording this would open me up to be able to finish editing and doing what I had to do before. And I do feel that. So I am going to finish up the editing and posting all that last e-file video that I did. Now, are the Epstein files off topic or whatever for me? No. Because when it comes to it, guys, I do have access to a lot of files and information. If you have questions, if you want to know anything or something's out in the news, I may bring it up. Feel free to bring it up. I'll be more than happy to look it up if I don't know what the answer is to that. But that final video that you guys are going to get that I'm about to drop, I just listed all the names and all like my rough notes from when I started looking at all like the Epstein files and videos and just rounded right like good tied up summary. So we can put that to the side and then move on to the next chapter of the unredacted truth after the Epstein files. So if you have any questions, anything at all, don't be afraid to ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer or find the answer for you if I can. Yeah. If you think it could help you, if you want to join me on this journey, if you think that it would be interesting, join us. Follow, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. If this is not your fun time, I hope you still stay around and stick around and join me with this entire journey as we discover new things in life. I like a lot of there's there's so much happening in the world, and I think I know we're supposed to disservice. I listen to the news. Like before I came on here, I was watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives to kind of like get myself acclimated to everything. And the what's her name? I always forget it when I go to say her name. Maybe that's a sign from the universe. Just leave that thing. Taylor Paul Frankie stuff is absolutely insane. I just watched the Call Her Daddy interview with Jessie where she announces how what's the name? The dude's name. See, it's not deep enough for me to be like I know I'm never gonna be like a recap show. But stuff like that, it makes me think. Like the Secret Wives of Mormon Wives thing makes me think with Frankie Paul, like her history with her dad, the fact that her dad was also very abusive. And right now, from what it seems between the dynamic between her and Dakota is that she's the abusive one in the relationship. Could it be that this is like, is it more nature versus nurture or nurture versus nature? I don't know, right? Because it appears the way it's filmed to us is because in February of last year, she didn't know anything or apparently shouldn't have known anything about her mom's history with the father when the first DV incident happened. And then after she finds out a little bit, I don't know how much because it's TV, we don't know what's actually happening in these real lives, but after she finds out the history of her mom and her dad, another incident happens where this time she hurts him so bad that someone else says you need to make a police report. He went to the police report, and there's the whole filing of the restraining order and everything that's happening right now because of it. Then there's the whole Jesse and well, Jesse's situation is with all the girl, the whole group. You can see how their whole like religious upbringing is so entrenched in them. And that's why they also the hierarchy, how they need a leader of mom talk and they need somebody to follow. And that is probably because of the whole like Mormon culture and they can't seem to escape it. I don't know if they see it as the sign of the whole like who's leading mom talk and how they need this hierarchy thing and mom talk versus dad talk if they've realized that that is also their subconscious like religious and Mormon upbringing spreading out to other areas of life. Stuff like that makes me like I think about stuff like that. So I don't know for sure. Like I'm definitely never gonna be a recap show because I don't watch anything religiously enough to do that, but I might bring stuff up like that. The other thing I was just watching too, because I like to start my day with a little bit of news. I know a lot of people hate that. And maybe I shouldn't if I'm trying to balance and calm down my nervous, like regulate my nervous system. But I like to look at updates on the war. And everything I predicted at the start seems to be happening now. Is that France going through the Strait of Hormuz? I told you guys that Europe is going to do a backroom deal with Iran. And that stuff happened. But I don't want to be sitting here talking about the war on Iran every day and like paint myself into that political news kind of thing. But it's stuff that makes me think and makes me analyze. For example, how I looked at the whole situation in the beginning and I thought, hey, I could definitely see Europe making a black back end deal, and that is exactly what they did. B, I will say, I'm like, they are not going to stop. This war is going to go on for a very long time. And again, stuff like that is happening. I have realized as my brain, maybe it's because my brain is just coming back online, and what I credit the improvements that I can see in myself is that because I'm constantly trying to learn new stuff, the synapses and the connections in my brain are developing. I think they're developing faster. It's helping the kind of the rehabilitation, which is another reason why I'm open to so many different topics. Like I went through the whole like Dead Sea Scroll stuff. Anyway, the point of that little rant is to tell you, are we going to be sticking to just political news all the time? No. If that's what you want and you want to know more, because I do start my day every day with the news, let me know. But if there's nothing interesting that I see in the news, I may not bring it up that day. If something pops up that is interesting, I may bring it up. I watch lots of shows, everything from Watson to Secret Lives of I was like, what was I just watching? Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If something on there sparks something that makes me think or look at a different perspective, a question, I might bring it up, I might not. That is what you can expect moving forward with us together. And I hope a lot of you stay for the journey. I hope you continue with me along with the journey. I hope we're all able to grow. We're all able to learn. We're all able to evolve. And I hope more people join us with that journey. And on that note, this is the unredacted truth. I feel like finally the unredacted truth. And I am Sonia, your host. Have a wonderful day. Catch you next time.